Hey guys, today we're going to do another classic, if you can call it that. I mean, a 90s comic. This is Superman Special, issue number one, 64-page spectacular by Walter Simonson, written and drawn. But also, we have some, look at this, Frank Miller, Barry Windsor-Smith, Curt Swan Art Thibert, Jon J. Muth, Michael Golden, Geof Darrow, and Todd McFarlane. But they are more like pin-ups. I can show you a little bit later. So I just read this. Let's dive in. There's a lot to talk about. So we see Superman go into his fortress, and he's pounding on some and destroying some rock, what he creates. And I believe this was the aftermath that he probably for the first time, could be wrong, was judge, jury, and executioner. He killed Zora, General Zod, and Quaxel, or Ul on the other dimension. There's a story behind that. You can look it up on the internet. I hope I get it sometime. I got the Dutch version, but I really want to have the American version. So he creates these statues, and because then he wants to remind himself about the fact that he feels guilty that he has to kill them for the greater good, and he uses his heat vision to swear an oath to become the champion of life and never its destroyer, as long as he walks the green hills of Earth. Meanwhile, he is of later. He's going to the Daily. I want to say the Daily Bugle, but that's the other. That's the other universe, the Daily Planet, and he's meeting up with Lois, and Lois has a scoop. He says, "I got a hot lead. Cosmography Industries, headquartered outside beyond the city limits on Corporate Drive. Sure, they're very hush-hush about it. Yeah, that's them. I've heard they've been working on stealth fighter technology. No kidding. Not only that, but nobody seems to know who owns them. Okay, I see. Miss Bright Eyes has some ideas. Okay, but then we switch towards that particular facility, and they're doing some experimenting. But something goes wrong, and the other guy says, "Nah, nonsense. There's nothing to worry about. Full power." And then everything explodes, and then Clark here gets the notification, the sound effect, and then he goes into Superman mode. So he goes to the facility here, but he's too late, and the whole facility explodes, and it looks freaking awesome, like some kind of an atom bomb going off. And of course, we have the iconic Simon Walterson sound effect in here, really cool. And Superman has been thrown into a bunch of rocks, and he is. But also, we have, before we go any further with the Superman thing, we have the new Newsboy Legion. They are here just for the plot, a little bit to push it a little bit forward. They steal the Whiz Wagon from I don't know which facility, but some kind of a secret facility, etc. And they they fly off. They go to the Daily Planet, and they shout at Jimmy Olsen, who is there with Lois, and they're coming there very, very fast. And it says, "Hey, we got a scoop. We are there's something happened at the Cosmography Industries. You want to come?" So he jumps in, and Lois here is being, I don't know, startled, and they fly away really fast. It happens in probably a couple of seconds. Anyway, so we see Superman. He's a little bit dizzy because the blast was so enormous that he's been pushed into the wall, and so he is gonna, removing the rubble because there's people on it, and then Lex Luthor comes, because he says to him, "Hey, Superman, this is private property. You better get out of here." But Soup says, "Give it a rest, Luthor. People are desperate in need of help here, and I'm not leaving until they get it. I'm beginning to understand. This is one of your little enterprises. The stealth technology rumor were planted by you to cover up what's really been happening here." And so, yeah, it seems that Luthor has synthesized some kind of a kryptonite, and he says, "Now you get the hell out of here, because, or else you're gonna get it." So, but this happening, he eats it, and this is okay. There is some older Superman comics, And he did that before. There was a time that Kryptonite, I believe in the whole world, didn't work anymore somehow. So people, tried to kill him with the rock of Kryptonite, and he ate it too. And there's also a storyline here that I'm going to talk about in a second that has also been done before. Not sure it's in the same way, because that's a very long time ago. I believe the artist was also Curt Swan, was into the earlier Superman comics before the 90's, mostly 80's. So Luthor says, how can it be, etc. And he says, ordinary lad, Luthor, I think you boys have destroyed your sample. So Lois comes and Superman goes away, and I don't know, police or security, caring for these people that Superman dragged out. But Luthor is looking at him, and he says, I can't believe it, all that work for nothing. He says, Superman Achilles heel has been destroyed by my own hand. It isn't fair. But Superman falls a little bit, and he says, strange. I feel a little bit dizzy just for a second. And he thinks that's because of the explosion. But Luthor saw that, and he thinks, perhaps I haven't lost everything. So he goes back in the chopper. Well, Lois wants to have answers, but he ignores her. But then, from the ashes, if you can call it that, this creature comes. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I have seen this before. So this is a sand creature, radioactive, I presume. Not sure how else he can be existing. And there's some guards, and he kills them. And so at the apartment, Clark is doing the dishes, and he uses his super breath to blow the plates. But then he says, no winds, my super breath, gone. And I knew there was something bad is happening. And I bet my bottom dollar, whatever it is, it's out here in the hills beyond Luthor's lab. So he goes back to the place that, he's been smashed into the rocks, and he's feeling dizzy again. And he's feeling weaker and weaker. I'm not sure what it is. So he goes away, and then this creature is still here. And then suddenly he gets heat vision. Okay. And skipping a few pages. So Superman is here analyzing. He's some kind of a building. I have recovered, but again, I've lost something. My heat vision is gone. It can't be kryptonite. It's a different feeling altogether. So he thinks it's some kind of a disease, and uses his telescopic vision to examine the place that where he fell. But he also sees footsteps or footprints, and then he hears his name, Clark Kent. And my supervision's completely kaput. It's here. Whatever was there has found me, and it knows who I am. And so he's outside, and Keith is in, and he's shouting, Clark Kent, Clark Kent. So they're meeting each other for the first time. And Superman thinks he can fly, but he can't. So he falls down, and he's broken. The sand fell apart, and so Superman doesn't know what's going on, and he says, hey, I don't feel weak now. Whatever it was, the fall seems to have destroyed it. But there could be more danger out there. I better take a closer look carefully this time. But then this creature is reforming himself, and he's in pain because of his eyes is burning. And I probably presume that's because he's absorbing the Superman's power for whatever reason. And he's going to haunt him. So he is doing some rampaging. And I believe this is some kind of a Luthor's facility, I believe. And there's some, guys in suits shooting at him. And it hurts him. And they drive him into some kind of I'm not sure what it is, some kind of a box. And they saying, initiate phase 2. And then he's being towed away by a helicopter. And Luthor is inside somehow. So he's tracking this creature. And he says to him, hey, can we talk? I have something of interest that you are probably interested in. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. So he shows Superman, and he attacks it. The creature attacks Superman, but it was all a hologram. And of course, you know what's going to happen. He's tried to, convert this creature to his cause, etc. And then Superman hears a sound, and there is a robbery. Man, I love robberies in movies and even in comics, with goons and guns and panzer vehicles. Love it. So Superman comes, but I don't know, his powers are disappearing, and he says, "I can't fly. I'm in free fall," and he falls down. He's luckily didn't break his neck. But then, the creatures hear it again, because it was a ruse somehow, and he says, "You." Well, both they say it. So the creature attacks him again, and Superman suspects now that he is responsible for the loss of his superpowers, and he says, "Listen to his scream. Every time he's taking something, it seems to hurt him." He's coming around, and then we have some cool freaking shot of them pounding into each other. And they have a big fight, but Jimmy and the Newsboy Legion, or whatever they call, are here too, following Soups. And it's great stuff. So the creature uses his, heat vision on him. And Superman says that it's more powerful and energized than his at that moment. So he keeps attacking them. "I got to move before he steals any more of my powers." And Jimmy and then the Legion helping Soups with against the robbery. It looks a little bit silly here, but he still has his invulnerability, but he's going to probably lose that quickly. And since Jimmy, wait a minute, here we go. Superman gets his ass kicked a lot. So Jimmy jumps into the whiz wagon and he rams into the clone. No, it's not really a clone. What is it? A doppelganger? Probably a sand doppelganger, or I want to say Sandman, but that's also the other universe. Let's not do that. So he recognizes, but somehow he also steals his memories. He says, "Jimmy, you tried to kill me. Then you die first before I killed Superman." And Superman says, "Sam is berserked." And Jimmy held his attention just long enough. And then Superman says, "So long, sucker." Don't forget to write. What the hell? Is this something what Superman would say? I don't think so. Oh my God. And this creature, no, follows him. And he rams into the whiz-wagon a couple of times. But Superman is just, pushing the pedal to the metal. Goes into, I believe, the Fortress of Solitude. And this creature can now speak more better because he's absorbing this power and this memory or whatever, and he thinks that he can take Superman out. So he follows him, and he also this is happening. So he catches the whiz wagon. Superman falls out, and this creature is in immensely pain again. And then he throws a rock at Soups, and he says no again, and but Superman is basically powerless. And look at that, he just picks him up like he's a small child or a rag doll, and he throws him into the walls. And Superman is almost, he's down, man. He's beaten. "Come on, Superman, bet me for death." And he also talks about, this is a little bit weird, because I thought it was Superman, but it's the sand creature, so I believe the colorist made a mistake here. Because he's shouting at Superman, "I've taken everything except for your life and your invulnerability. Luthor told me all about you. Help me catch you. And because it pleases me to cause you the kind of pain you cause me, you keep your invulnerability until you're begging for death." So he cannot absorb his powers accidentally, so he can do it willingly? Not sure. Okay, so he's still pounding on Superman, and then there's some kind of a hole, and then I thought, hey, this is Superman, but it's not. So it seems, but I'm not entirely sure, the sand creature turns into the real Superman, including his colors, and then he found Superman lying here, and what is happening here? What is happening here? What? Surprise, it's here. Is he kissing him? What is happening? And then, I don't know, he's just transferring his powers again, or just do the vice versa. And maybe I thought I'm missing something, some kind of a plot. But it isn't. He says, unconscious, I have to wake up. I want to see him coming, and then this is happening. And then the sound effect, brack. And then, I don't know what's happening here. I really don't. So this is shouting, the pain, I can't stand it. What have you done to me? And said, what have you, who's there? Zora, Zod, and Quaxel, the Kryptonian destroyers of worlds, the criminals whose bloody hands are responsible for the death of millions. That's Superman 22. And I love classic Zod, still great. And then he destroys the statues, and he says, I am now your executioner. But then, so this is then evil Superman, the doppelganger. And but then he also, like, he absorbing the memories of the real Superman. He remembers, I forgot, there are only statues. The statues I made. No, the statue he has made. I have to watch myself more carefully. I swore not to kill again. Not to kill. Oh no. And then he goes to Superman. He says, no, again. Don't be dead. You can be dead. We swore an oath here in this place that we be the champions of life and not its destroyers. An oath that Superman swore would never be forgotten. As long as the last son of Krypton, and he started beginning to cry, as long as he walks the green hills of Earth. And then another explosion. And then we see, go back to Luthor. And Superman is waiting for him. He's just standing there. Superman says to him, you made one big mistake, Lex. The Sandman's agony didn't come from the pain of destroying me. It came from the pain of becoming me. He also says that the Sandman is gone. When I save him, everything I had, and when I gave him everything I had, he did just that. A good thing too, because he gave up his life for me. You better start thinking more clearly, Lex, because if he hadn't become me, you would have a Superman on your hands without guilt, without remorse, without conscience. What would you have done then? That's the irony, don't you see? This was a job for Superman, and you made it possible. You shouldn't push your luck. It might not work the way twice. Have a nice day. And then that's the end. What a ride. So we have Barry Windsor-Smith here. And the other artist that I mentioned earlier. This is with Art Thibert and Curt Swan. Damn it. We have another Michael Golden. I forgot who this is. And we have Todd McFarlane. Great stuff. And this one too. Very nice. Yeah, it was a weird one. The whole sand creature thing, it has been done before. You can look it up on the internet. But I'm not sure if it's been done before in the same manner. I didn't believe so. I believe the other one was more magical related and, coming from another dimension, inhabiting the molecules or something of the sand, creating a clone of Superman, wants to replace him, and then also sacrifice him for Superman. So, etc. So this is another take. I like it, but yeah, it's I don't know what this was, man, with the whole kissing thing. That's just, it was weird. I mean, come on. If you can call it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.